Hey everybody, Chad here. Welcome to the next episode, or another episode of Law of Attraction Secrets. In this episode, we're going to talk about the boomerang effect and Law of Attraction. The boomerang effect, if you're good at throwing a boomerang anyway. But anyway, I'm Chad. If you like this video, like it below, share it below, and of course, subscribe, follow it. I almost burped. I'm so sorry. I was drinking a little bit of soda before I sat down. I mean, the lighting's good. Holy crap. I mean, I was like looked at myself. The lighting's like perfect right now. I'm in Thailand, been in Thailand for a while, but lighting's really good. But anyway, besides the lighting, let's talk about the boomerang effect in Law of Attraction. So, what is the boomerang effect? Okay. Now, what does a boomerang do? Makes sense? So if you were a kid, I don't know. I mean, I know they still make boomerangs, of course, but I mean, at one time they used to be popular. I don't know if they're popular anymore, but I think we all know what a boomerang is. And it's like, if you don't know what a boomerang is, it's kind of like a frisbee. It's kind of like, I wish I had one to show you, but it's kind of like almost like a spear shaped, like this, kind of goes like this. Then you throw it. And as you throw it, you kind of whip it out, almost like a frisbee, but you throw it, goes really far, then it actually turns around and comes back to you. So if you're good at it, you can actually throw really far, it turns around, comes back to you, then you catch it, and you can throw it, and it turns around, comes back to you, and you can catch it. Unless you suck like I do, and when I would throw a boomerang, it never came back. So in this video, when we talk about the boomerang effect, we're talking about the perfect boomerang. You know, when you throw a boomerang, it comes back to you, okay? So that's exactly what the law of attraction is. What we have to think about the boomerang effect is when we put a thought out there, okay? Those thoughts, what we're thinking, positive or negative, will come back to us. Makes sense? Just like the boomerang does. And we throw a boomerang kind of goes out and it comes back to us. Okay. Same way with the law of attraction. Law of attraction works the same way. As we put an intention out there, positive or negative, works both ways. That intention is going to come back to us, just like a boomerang. Okay. It's kind of like we reap what we sow. What we put out in the universe will always come back to us. Makes sense? If we like, for example, if we're helping somebody, we lend somebody money. Maybe we don't lend, we just give someone money. We don't ask for it back. We don't say, oh, you're just borrowing it, you need to pay me back somehow. You know, we're just helping people. You help people move or whatever. You putting out that energy, the good energy, that energy will come back to you. Makes sense? That's the law of the universe, the law of abundance. Okay, we reap what we sow. As we believe, we receive. There's so many verses like this. There's so many ways to kind of describe this. But there's a big but in this. We have to be careful with ourselves. We have to be careful. What are we really putting out? You know, if we reap what we sow, and you truly believe we reap what we sow, and you truly believe in the law of attraction. Law of attraction goes much deeper than kind of what they really, what people really teach on nowadays. People really teach on immediate gratification to law of attraction. And yes, that works, but law of attraction goes so much deeper. The law of vibration, the law of consciousness, the law of abundance, no matter what you want to call it, it kind of all means the same thing, depending upon, what words I want to use, what definitions I want to use, what terminology I want to use. But we have to understand, what energy I put out always will flip back to me. Okay. Now, the secret to this, if you are putting out good always will come back. But what we must do, and I'll talk about this in other videos, not to kind of talk about the same thing over and over and over and over, or give the same examples over and over and over and over, but is when we put out good, it will come back, but we have to give up the how. Okay, this is where belief comes in. We totally believe in the law of abundance. We totally believe when I put good out, good is going to come back to me. We totally believe that. There isn't an if and but about it. There isn't doubt in our mind that good isn't going to come back. But what we have to do is let go of the how, or how it's going to happen. This is what kind of flubs us up a little bit. This is what kind of flubs people up. We kind of get stuck at this part because we kind of want to control the how. For example, the prime example, let's say I'm helping my friend David move, and I spent all day helping him move. Maybe I spent the whole weekend helping him move. And, I think, well, when it's time for Chad to move, David's going to help me. Or when it comes time for me to need help during something, the first person I'm going to go to is my friend David. And, maybe one day I wake up, I need help with something, and I think, I'm going to call David. And I'll call David, and he doesn't even have to think about it for 1 second. Immediately, he's just like, nah, I can't do it. Sorry. Nah, I can't do it. I got to go to the beach. Sorry. He doesn't even, I canceled my plans to help him. I did all this stuff, but, he doesn't even have to think about it. Now, this is just an example. This didn't really happen, but what happens in this moment is I'm focusing so much on David. I'm focusing so much on where the good is going to come from. Makes sense? Because I'm thinking like, well, I did good for David, so David has to do good for me. You know what I mean? So I'm controlling the how. I'm controlling how the good is going to come, rather than completely let go. Okay? Trust and believe in the law of abundance. As you put good out, good will come to you. Okay? You let go, let God. You don't control the how. Okay? If I help David, I help David because I wanted to help David. Okay? Then if I need help or whatever, that help will come to me, but it might not come from David. Makes sense? It will still come to me, but it just might not come from David. Okay, that's what we have to be careful of, because most of the time we try to control the how. We try to control where it's going to come from. Then another mistake we make, if David don't help me, then I get pissed off and mad because David don't help me. And I get pissed off and mad, and I think, and then the older we get, when I talk to a lot of my friends that are older, the older we get, we just get worse and worse and worse with it. Because the older we get, we start like, I help this person, he never helps me. I help this person, he never helps me. I help this person over here, he never helps me. I help people at work, and they never fucking help me, and blah, 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 blah. Then what happens is we become pessimistic, we become kind of sinister to it, we become negative to it. And that's the energy we put out. That's the energy that comes back, flips around like the boomerang effect. Okay? And then we just give up. We just basically throw in the towel. We think, I'm not going to help anybody. Screw them. And that's kind of how we end up becoming as the older we get. We first start off young, kind of helping and being really positive. Then the more we help people, and that specific person don't help us, the more we take on that negative connotation to it. Rather than looking at it as a law of abundance, meaning that I don't control exactly how somebody's going to help me. Well, I don't control how the abundance is going to come back to me. I give that up. Okay, I don't control it, because when I don't control it, what happens is I might open up 20 different avenues, 20 different ways, not avenues, but I open up 20 different ways of abundance to come to me, rather than I'm so focused on one way it's going to happen. I'm so focused on David, I'm focused on my friend David. This is one way it's going to happen. It's here. Then I totally lose track of the 19 other ways it could come to me. Okay, so I'm so laser focused over here. It comes over here and I'm blind to it. I don't see it. I deny it, whatever reason. And this happens more and more often. Okay, most of the time when we're going through the law of attraction, what we have to understand, most of the time we're just being tested into just letting go of the how. Once we, and this is hard to do, this isn't easy, this is hard for me to do. Once we just fully trust, fully believe, fully let go of the how, and just let it come in its own time. Makes sense? Yes, we want it tomorrow. Or we want it tonight, we want it in an hour, okay? But we just we have to understand is the law of abundance. We set an intention, we put something out there, we know it's gonna come back to us, the good's gonna come back to us, we just don't know when. We know it's gonna come, we just don't know when. That's the only thing. We're 100% positive it's gonna come back. That's the boomerang effect, okay? It's gonna come back to you, okay? You just don't know when, you don't know how, but you're open to it, okay? Wherever which way it comes, I'm open to it. That's basically how we have to become. Same way if we set an intention, set a goal, completely let go. Completely trust that whatever you put your mind to, whatever you focus on, whatever you set your attention to in the law of attraction is going to happen, it's going to come true. Okay, you just totally believe that. Whatever you stick your mind to, and you're persistent with it, you don't give up, it's going to happen. Same way with the boomerang effect, same way with the law of attraction. Same way you put an attention out in the universe, it's going to flip back to you. No matter what you put out, positive or negative. That's the boomerang effect. Then with that, you have to understand and really tell yourself the law of abundance. Abundance is for everybody. Makes sense? That's the abundance isn't a limited supply. That's kind of how we're taught. We're taught limited supply. We're taught money is limited. We're taught all this nonsense from little on up, either from the school system, from our parents, from our friends, from when we went to college, and blah, 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 from TV and commercials and movies and TV shows and the entertainment industry. I mean, it's everywhere. It's not just in one, it's not just in one entity. Okay. But anyway, it's been about 10, 11 minutes so far, but I think you get the gist. Okay, this is the boomerang effect and law of attraction. What you put out there will always come back to you. Okay, you reap what you sow. You do good, good will come back to you. You do bad, bad will come back to you. Make sense? You take advantage of people, well, that's the energy you're putting out there. That energy will come back to you. Okay, somewhere or some way or another, that's going to flip back to you. It's almost like the law of karma. You know, it makes sense. If you do good, good's going to come to you. You do bad, bad's going to come to you. Law of attraction is really the same thing. You know what I mean? What you put out, you get. The intention you put out, you get. The intention that you persistently focus on, that's why they say it works. Okay, you're persistent at it. You're persistent with the law of attraction. You're persistent with your intention. Okay, you don't give up. You don't give in. You wait till the end. You hang in there until it flipping happens. It works. Makes sense? Law of attraction works no matter what. That's what we have to understand. The boomerang effects works no matter what. We think the law of attraction don't work, but it's working in our life. It's working in everybody's life every single day, every single hour, because we just have to be aware of our thoughts. You have to be aware of what your gut's telling you, what you secretly tell yourself all the time. That's really kind of the boomerang effect. What are you secretly telling yourself all the time? Makes sense? This is what I kind of tell people. This is probably a whole nother video, is that with the law of attraction, we attract who we secretly are. Makes sense? That's what we attract into our life, our secret life, the life that we don't tell anybody. Okay, we might fool other people, but we don't fool the laws of nature. We don't fool the laws of the universe. We don't fool God. Makes sense? Easy to fool people, but you can't fool God. You can't fool the laws of the universe. Makes sense? So you're always going to attract who you really are. So that keep in mind that too. You know, this is a work in progress. This goes along with the boomerang effect. Type of energy you put out is always going to flip back to you one way or another. We just don't know the timing. Makes sense? But it's going to flip back. But anyway, my friends, that's the boomerang effect, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.